So I'm going to use Gemini and I'm going to paste a description. So here I've made the description in Gemini, make a photorealistic render of a minimal monkey, smooth concrete sculpture with some bumps using the sketch of a monkey as a guide. Render it as a side view, leave the background white. So I'm going to find a sketch that I did. So it's all about being kind of like an art director and adding a kind of rough sketch to start with. And then the AI is kind of your apprentice, as it were. So here's the sketch, and I'm going to press enter. And that's looking okay. We can increase the tail in Blender. I don't like these bumps, but I'm going to leave those in because I'll get rid of those later on. So make sure you save this side view image. I'll do that later on. And now you're going to say render the front view. The reason why I'm doing this, because in the image to 3 software such as Tripo, it now does multi-view rendering. So you can add multi-view images and it will give more of an accurate model from the images. Here's the front view. I'm going to render the back view. Good luck, I'm going to render top view. There you go, and it's all looking good. Save these images into an appropriate folder you want to save on your PC. So now in Tripo, or whatever you're using, like Meshi, most of these softwares have multi-views. You want to go to, in this one, 3D workspace, and you want to upload your images, but you want to go to multi-view, this icon here. So I'm going to click on that, front, left, right, and in this case there's no top, but there's back. So it gives really good information to make this model. Mesh Quality Ultra, I've got the Pro version for a month. Generating parts, we don't want to do that. Privacy, I'm going to click that on. Texture, let's leave the texture on. We can also add PBRs. Let's try and add some PBRs to see how that works. And it's 4K texture. Topology settings, we can do it triangles, quads. I like quads. Quads are good. And we can have a look at the poly count if we want. But in this case, I'll leave that because I can do that later on. So now I'm going to press Generate Model. And you can see, by the way, here's the credits. It also has a bridge to Blender, but I'm working away from the UK at the moment, so I can't use that. It doesn't allow me in the location I am. So you can see it actually gives you kind of a point cloud of the mesh. It looks lovely. Let's wait for it to generate. Once it's generated, you can zoom in with the mouse. You can see there's little bumps here. It's kind of got spots, but we can edit that in Blender. So there are many other tools here, but you can even use the free version. And the thing about making image to 3D, still at this point, it's a really good thing to know Blender, because if not, you're just going to come up with props that this makes. But if you can use Blender or other 3D softwares, you can edit this and sculpt it. So this is almost like an apprentice has made the initial sculpture for you, and then you can edit it to your heart's content. So we can look at the topology here, but we're just going to download it to Blender. So here I'm going to do export. So I'm going to export it as an SPX. For some reason it does an FBX, and even if you select Blender, it's still Blender. The Blender bridge might work. When you've unzipped the folder, make sure that you open your 3D software of choice. In this case I'm using Blender. Go to File, Import, and we're using FBX. These settings are okay. Import FBX, and it's come in just like that. So now in Blender we can edit it. So this is why it's good to have 3D skills, not just AI 3D skills if you're just coming from AI without 3D skills. So you can do things like sculpt mode. We've got things like the elastic, so we can grab the tail, we can try and make it longer. Obviously this is going to stretch the topology, so then we're going to have to re-topologize it when we stretch it. We can also move in and smooth these bumps. I don't want these bumps. I'll just take it down to matcap so we can see it properly. And we can sculpt it and push it around to our heart's content. We can add detail, and we can shift the physique of the monkey how we want. So many will argue this is cheating, but if you think about it as an apprentice that's made the base model for you as a sculptor artist, and then you can edit it further. Let's have a look at the topology. Let's go to edit mode. And the topology is fairly good. And we can use retopo tools if we want to adjust the topology. So in my case, I've got quad remesh. And let's just do a straight 5000 quad remesh. It's made it a bit less detailed, but you can see it's got rid of the little knots that we smoothed. So that's how to get image to 3D using an app like Tripo, Hitem, or Meshi, for example, or an array of other ones, into Blender, and the ability to edit it, take it much further than this. I'm probably going to use this monkey for some sculptures. I'm going to, when I finish the sculpting, I'm going to take it into a slicer, 3D print it, and I want to adjust it in different poses. And you can also see this is fairly good enough to rig, so I can adjust the poses. And I'm going to cast these in metallic finishes or resin for a sculpture that I'm making. But by all means, I don't think this is cheating, it's just speeding up your workflow. And if you check out my art and sign up to my newsletter, you'll see this sculpture now, or eventually when I make it, in a month from recording from now, and you'll see that it's a lot different to this, but it just saves a lot of time. And let me know your views, but I think it's a great technology. But importantly, still learn 3D programs, because it enables you to tweak it and edit it as an artist designer rather than just somebody importing kind of AI props.